Hey guys, it's Will here. We are back for some more creepypastas and r/no sleeps. I know it's been literally a long time since I have done anything regarding these, but I want to find the time to actually just stock up on videos so I can just get them out without having you guys to wait so long for me to make videos because I know I haven't been doing so in a while, but that's because my life is shit. Um, but I just have so much of these that I can read about, and so I'm trying to find like the right time to actually sit down and just record a couple of them. Doesn't matter if they're long or not. To um, long or not to just upload them whenever, just so I can get more videos out. Cause yeah, so today, sorry, I'm very tired. It's 4:30 and it's dark, so I thought today we're gonna be reading an r/no sleep called "If You See an Ice Cream Truck in Your Neighborhood, Run." Let me make it a bit bigger so you can read along if you want, or you can just sit back and listen, whatever. Okay, this is not very long, but I'll try to make it as long as I can. My mother and father are going through a divorce. There's not much to the backstory of that. Mom had been fooling around with a coworker and thought she was smarter than she really was. It didn't take dad long to catch him in the act once, and he suspected something was going on between them. He had called Mom and told her that he would be late in from the office. In reality, he would come in at his usual time, but park a block down from the road from our house. He saw how a nice car had parked in our driveway, and a man, maybe 10 years his junior, barged in the house like he had owned it. My dad waited some 10 minutes before walking in the house so to not alert my mom or the man inside. When he went inside, he caught the two fucking in the kitchen, as they probably had been doing dozens of times before. My dad beat the man within an inch of his life while Mom called the police. Although no charges were filed, thanks to Dad being friends with some of the police in our small town, he did spend the night in a jail cell. He confessed to me that he had never slept better. Due to the very complicated legal battle that was underway, my parents decided that I would be spending summer with my grandfather. I didn't know the man. I'd maybe seen him once when I was 6 at some family reunion, and he didn't sound very enthusiastic in taking care of me either. Mara, this isn't a good time to come over. Things are complicated over here on the summers. I overheard him while he was talking to my mother on the phone. For fuck's sake, Dad, I never ask anything from you. You just look after him until till we get the divorce sorted out with the lawyers. A week later, I was on the road with my dad, and we had to drive from Kansas City all the way down to Des Moines. I used to enjoy road trips with my dad, but this one wasn't fun, and it was certainly a lot quieter. After what felt like a few hours of watching YouTube videos and browsing Reddit, if only to break the silence, I asked my dad what Grandpa was like. He hasn't really been in your life much, but he's not a bad man. Your grandfather's a recluse nowadays, but he did love you when he was around back in the day. I paused for a moment and asked, "What changed?" My dad, not moving his eyes from the road, just answered, "You'll have to ask him yourself when you get there." The neighborhood was run down. It didn't look like one of those bad neighborhoods where being stabbed or shot was likely. It just looked more abandoned and unkempt. After driving for a few eyesores, we got to a relatively nice looking house. 2 stories, lawn, well kept, and looked entirely out of place compared to everything around it. From inside came an elderly man who somewhat resembled my mother in some facial aspects. Are you kidding me, Dad? The guy looks like is going to kill over before the night is through, I said, not trying to hide my frustration with the situation. Don't judge a book by its cover. He's a Vietnam vet. I grabbed my baggage, and walked past my grandfather, who barely acknowledged me as he went straight to talk to my father. I dropped my bags inside the impressive house, and a window drew my attention. From it, I could see my grandpa and dad having some type of heated discussion. They were too far away for me to make out anything as they were saying, but it was clear to me that I wasn't exactly welcomed. My dad pulled away from the driveway, and Grandpa walked back to the house defeated. I went to pick up my bags, trying to make the eavesdropping too obvious. We met at the staircase, and Grandpa awkwardly uttered, "Hey, Ben. Been a while, hasn't it?" His pathetic excuse for small talk just made the whole situation even more uncomfortable. "Look, Grandpa, I know I'm not exactly wanted here, and I'm sorry my parents just dumped me here, but it looks like we are stuck with each other for a few weeks." Grandpa looked a bit shocked, or maybe relieved at how direct I was with him. It's not that I don't want you here. This place isn't exactly safe on the summers. But you're already here, so if you're going to stay, there are some rules you absolutely cannot break under any circumstances. The whole interaction had me a bit confused as to why my parents would ever send me to live with this guy for any length of time. You can go outside during the day, and you cannot speak to anyone if you see anyone outside. Absolutely no going outside during the night under any circumstances. It doesn't matter what you see or hear. I didn't know if my grandfather was lying to freak me out or trying to get back at my parents faster, or if there was an actual reason behind those rules he put in place. In any case, I nodded and my grandpa showed me the room I was going to be staying in for the few weeks. We went upstairs and he opened the door to a room seemingly stuck in time, and it looked like the 80s decor was all over the place. This used to be your mother's room, before she went and lived with your late grandma. The room had a single window overviewing the house, entrance, and a neighborhood. I settled down and made myself at for the few hours of watching YouTube videos and scrolling through Reddit. Late at night, my service was interrupted, and I was out of entertainment and to prey on my insomnia. I walked downstairs to see what my grandpa was up to, and I found him passed out in his sofa next to the half a bottle of whiskey. Boredom and curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to pour myself a glass of Grandpa's top shelf stuff. I immediately regretted it as I realized I was swallowing fire and had never really been into any hard liquor before, and I was definitely not ready for it. Isn't this guy like a fucking teenager? What's going on? Out of the blue, I started hearing music coming from outside. I thought the booze was hitting me somehow because I was hearing an ice cream truck music. I had not seen an ice cream truck maybe since I was a kid, much less at so long after dark, yet I could still hear those very distinctive tunes. I went upstairs since my mom's old room had a great view of the neighborhood, and to my surprise, there was an old-timey looking ice cream truck parked outside under a light pole. I remembered Grandpa's earlier warning. Absolutely no going outside during the night under any circumstances. It doesn't matter what you see or hear. Maybe it was my morbid curiosity or the minuscule amount of whiskey I had, but I decided to say fuck it and check it out. I quietly went down the stairs and sneaked past Grandpa, who was still passed out. I closed the front door behind me and walked over to the ice cream truck. The light pole illuminated the truck to where there was a perfect visibility in an otherwise dark and uninhabited street. The truck was oddly shaped like it was a design in the 50s, yet looked like it was in pristine condition. The joyful music stopped as soon as I was standing right in front of the truck's service window. "Hello? Is there anybody in there?" I asked with a wave of anxiety splashing over me. It took me long enough that I was ready to turn around and walk back to the house when I heard a reply coming from the truck. "Yes, son, there's certainly someone in here." The service window slid open, and a skinny man was ready to attend me. He wore badly fitting white clothes that an ice cream man would wear in the 50s, and complete with slicked black hair and a white hat. "Say, you look like you could be Mara's boy, am I right?" The creepy-looking man in front of me was somehow familiar with my mom, as she used her first name. "How do you know my mom?" The ice cream man gave me a sickly smile from ear to ear that had me convinced his skin would break and tear around his mouth. "She and I were good friends when she was around. Do you want to be good friends too?" Something about something absolutely felt off about that guy that was in front of me, and every fiber of my body screamed to get the hell out of there. "Actually, I think I should be going. My grandpa could be waking up any minute now." The man frowned, seemed to understanding. "Of course. I don't want to cause you any trouble, but before you go, try some of my ice cream. It's to die for." Before I could reject his offer, he extended his hand, which was unnaturally long, and was already holding an already served strawberry ice cream cone. "It'll be our little secret." I hesitated for a moment, but took the ice cream from him, not wanting to anger the creep. I licked the ice cream, and it actually tastes better than any ice cream I've had before. Before I could compliment him, the light pole started to fail. Light was flashing on and on, and I could hear the ice cream man giggle, then full-on cackle. As soon as the light would come back on, I could see the ice cream truck had turned into a rusty, unserviceable junk pile, and the ice cream I was holding in my hand stank like putrid carcass and had gone from strawberry ice cream to chunks of human flesh. The ice cream man grabbed a hold of my shirt, um, with his inhumanly long limbs. "My ice cream tastes so much better when it's made out of kids." I panicked as I tried so hard to break free, eventually ripping my shirt and falling to the ground. The ice cream man shrieked and tried to squeeze out of his service window, and I immediately got up and sprinted as fast as I could back to the house. Um, Looking back only once, I was opening the door to see the creature dressed in the man's clothes was only a few feet behind me, running on all four elongated limbs. I slammed the door shut and locked it behind me. I waited for the inevitable impact of the creature with the door, desperately trying to knock it down, but it never came. What did you do? My grandpa had gotten up from the sofa and had a double-barreled shotgun in his hand. I didn't mean to. Ice cream man were the only words I could say while out of breath. My grandpa pulled me closer and away from the door. That thing has been there since it. That thing has been away since it took all the children, probably starving. Now it knows about you, and it won't stop. We heard a crash upstairs, and I knew it'd gotten in. We could hear how fast it ran from one side to the other upstairs. We need to get out of here. My grandpa signaled for me to grab the car keys from his car, near the table. From the table near the door. As I got the keys, I saw my grandpa aim at the top of the staircase to the ice cream man that was on all fours, drooling at us. The creature ran downstairs, and the grandpa shot it as it fell the rest of the way down, and produced an inhuman wail. We ran out the door and sprinted to Grandpa's car, only to have that creature follow us moments later. Grandpa shot at it again as I started the car, and drove away into the night. It would be a long drive back to Kansas City, but neither of us would be getting much sleep. Then I started to relax a bit from the life-changing experience. I looked into my rearview mirror and saw that the ice cream truck was following and gaining on us. I floored it and started to leave the truck in the dust when we heard a loud bang in the roof of the car. The ice cream man broke the driver's side window and grabbed me by the hair, desperately trying to pull me out. Grandpa took control of the wheel while trying to hold on to me as I was halfway out the window at this point. Before the thing could drag me out entirely, we had invaded a lane with oncoming traffic. The creature let go of me as Grandpa managed to pull me back in just in time as we swerved and lost control of the car. The next thing I remember was being surrounded by medics who had pulled me out of the red car. I looked around as much as I could to see where my grandfather was. To my horror, a few dozen feet from the crash site, I saw his unconscious body being dragged away by the ice cream man and being thrown into the back of his truck. The last thing I saw before passing out again was the ice cream man turning back around and directing a grotesque smile towards me. Why did you go outside? Stupid, stupid, stupid. Jesus, I could never, if someone says, this could literally be a horror movie, and of course it would turn out this way, but of course, if it was, with multiple people, that main character, the boy or whatever, would definitely die first, because he was like, oh, fuck what my grandfather said, let's just go outside. And especially if someone's just, under no circumstances, do not go outside during the night, no matter what you see or hear. Do people just not take that shit seriously? Why in the world would you be like, oh, it's whatever, I'll be fine? No. And why on earth would you just approach a parked vehicle under one street lamp that barely works and be like, oh yeah, this is safe. That's totally safe. And then, of course, you fucking just talk with a random stranger of a weird-ass truck. It literally doesn't make sense. It literally is like a horror fucking movie where everyone makes the wrong decision and you're just like, of course that shit would happen because you're fucking stupid. What? Yeah, this is why I would also, would do good in every horror movie ever, because I'm not fucking stupid. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was pretty fun to read, and it was good for, good for a video. But yeah, that's basically it. Everything's in the description. Love you guys, and hopefully this doesn't corrupt, because I got a warning saying that this sometimes will corrupt videos, so I really hope that doesn't happen, because it hasn't really happened yet. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.